Paul Heyman betrays Roman Reigns for The Rock. Roman Reigns recruits a new Bloodline member. Drew McIntyre walks off a set. Kevin Owens' 6'7" son joins the WWE. The Wyatt Sicks' next opponents leaked. Gunther's WWE rise. Triple H makes insane claims about WrestleMania 41. Roman Reigns is set to have a match on WWE Raw's Netflix debut. Let's dive right in. Roman Reigns recruits a new Bloodline member. The upcoming episode of SmackDown will be the go-home edition for WWE's Saturday night main event. Fans are eager to see what unfolds on tonight's show, as Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens are expected to come face-to-face one last time before their match. Additionally, Carmelo Hayes is set to face a mystery opponent. Let's discuss 5 rumored events that could happen on SmackDown this week. Number 1, Kevin Owens might make an earth-shaking declaration before facing Cody Rhodes. Over the past few months, Kevin Owens has been frustrated with Cody Rhodes due to his actions. The prizefighter is now fully determined to take the undisputed WWE title off the shoulders of the American Nightmare. KO might make an earth-shaking declaration on tonight's SmackDown to escalate the hype for this match. This declaration could be that if the former Universal Champion fails to dethrone Cody Rhodes at Saturday Night Main Event, he will quit WWE. Although this quitting angle would likely be part of the storyline, such an announcement would undoubtedly raise the stakes and intensify the match's build-up. Number 2, Naomi could finally turn heel and show her true colors. Since Jade Cargill was mysteriously taken out, Naomi has become a prime suspect in the eyes of the fans. Even the Glow's reactions have seemed off whenever Bianca Belair brings up the topic of Jade's mystery attacker. Therefore, it's possible that on tonight's episode of SmackDown, Naomi could finally reveal her true colors to the EST and turn heel. In a potential scenario, Belair might again bring up the mystery attacker, further frustrating Naomi. Eventually, she could confess to being the attacker. It wouldn't be surprising if she also viciously assaulted Bianca Belair after revealing herself. Number 3, Penta might finally make his debut as Nick Aldis's newest acquisition on SmackDown. Penta El Zero Miedo is currently one of the hottest topics among wrestling fans. The anticipation stems from his recent departure from All Elite Wrestling, which made him a free agent. Many fans believe he might soon debut in the Stamford-based promotion. This suggests that Nick Aldis may introduce Penta as the newest addition to the SmackDown roster. Penta could debut by competing in a match or a backstage segment with the National Treasure. It's important to note that there has been no official confirmation regarding the former AEW star's involvement in tonight's show. However, his free agent status only heightens his chances of making his SmackDown debut this week. Number 4, DIY might get punished for their actions on last week's show. DIY is the current WWE Tag Team Champions. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano won these tag titles by dethroning Motor City Machine Guns on last week's edition of the Blue Brand. Initially, the Street Profits were scheduled to be part of this title match against MCMG, but they were mysteriously attacked backstage at the last moment. As a result, DIY stepped in, took their spot, and turned heel during the match to emerge victorious. This raises strong suspicion that they could be the mystery attackers. On tonight's SmackDown, if Nick Aldis discovers DIY as the culprits, he will likely punish Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa for disrupting order. The punishment could range from a hefty fine to something as severe as stripping them of the titles, as Nick Aldis has never hesitated to make bold decisions under his leadership. Number 5, Roman Reigns might introduce Apollo Crews as the new Bloodline hire on SmackDown. Apollo Crews was involved in a backstage segment with Solo Sikoa and the new Bloodline, where the self-proclaimed tribal chief destroyed him. Since Crews hasn't been engaged in any storyline in WWE, this encounter sparks the possibility of his inclusion in the Bloodline saga. During the pandemic, Roman Reigns and Crews shared a segment that never led to anything significant. On tonight's SmackDown, WWE could finally revisit that forgotten storyline by having Roman introduce Apollo as the newest Bloodline recruit. With Jimmy Uso sidelined due to a recent injury, the head of the table is short on numbers. While Roman Reigns isn't advertised to appear tonight, the twist could still unfold. This could be done by Paul Heyman introducing Crews after having a telephone conversation with the OTC. Drew McIntyre walks off a set. Drew McIntyre isn't holding back, and his recent appearance on the Busted Open Holiday Party livestream is proof that the Scottish Warrior is all about speaking his mind. On December 12th, McIntyre delivered a fiery message about his legacy, his priorities, and his thoughts on internet critics, culminating in a dramatic mic drop that left fans and hosts stunned. Reflecting on his career and the toll it's taken on his personal life, McIntyre made it clear that he's shifting his focus. "I gave and gave and gave, but as far as wrestling on TV is concerned, I'm going to take and take and take, McIntyre stated. Drew then spoke about the sacrifices he's made and how it's shaped his current mindset. The lack of contact and the look on my family's face, realizing everything that I've missed, that's why I'm just going to take from now on. McIntyre didn't mince words about the fleeting nature of wrestling fame. When I leave this industry, I won't be one of those guys chasing that last paycheck, chasing that last shot of glory. Please remember me. Number, when I leave and retire, I will have accomplished everything. It doesn't matter if you're Mark Henry, Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, Drew McIntyre, or Stone Cold Steve Austin. When you're gone, they move on. They forget. It sucks, but it's true. The Scottish Warrior then turned his attention to internet critics. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the internet, I don't give a F about your opinion. McIntyre punctuated his statement by slamming the microphone to the ground and storming off the set. Shortly after, McIntyre doubled down on Twitter, sharing footage of the incident with the caption, "F you for making me do this." The tweet instantly went viral, sparking heated debates among fans about his unfiltered honesty and unapologetic demeanor. Drew McIntyre's explosive mic drop moment is already sparking debate across social media, with fans split between applauding his no-nonsense attitude and criticizing his blunt dismissal of online critics. Love him or hate him, one thing's for sure, McIntyre knows how to keep everyone talking. As he continues to shake things up on RAW and beyond, it's clear the Scottish Warrior isn't holding back, and he's making sure his voice is heard loud and clear. Kevin Owens' 6'7" son joins the WWE. There's an update about Kevin Owens' son wrestling, who was quite a viral sensation after a picture of him emerged. The WWE star has now spoken about him. Owens' son caused quite a sensation when a picture of him standing with his father went viral. The young man is allegedly 6'7" and looks like a giant, with an overall build similar to the prizefighter. Fans immediately started talking about whether he would wrestle, and Owens himself said he was considering it. Ahead of Saturday night's main event, in an interview with Daily Mail, Kevin Owens said there was still interest from his son about wrestling, but he was not pushing him to wrestle, and there's been no development about starting to train. The WWE star confessed his regret, stating that he could benefit from starting to wrestle later in his career, possibly speaking health-wise. No, there is still interest, but I am not pushing him to do anything he shouldn't be doing before it is too soon. I started training when I was 14, had my first match at 16, and while I feel pretty great for my age, I am 40 now, and have been doing this for 25 years. I probably could have benefited from waiting a few years and starting my career a little later. He added that his son was focusing on school and other things, and that he was still growing. He is focusing on his school and other stuff. When he really is ready to dive in head first, he has all the tools at his disposal, so I am not rushing him, and he is not in a rush either. He is still growing, from what I can tell, I think. That's not going away, Owens said. In the same interview, Kevin Owens said that circumstances were different for his son than they had been for him, where he had no idea where to start his career. Obviously, the circumstances are not the same for him as they were for me. I had no idea where to start and felt like time was against me at any point of my career because you are not getting any younger. You have got to get your name out there. He had felt the need to get his name out there, something his son does not have to do. The Wyatt Sicks' next opponents leaked. Since their debut in June, the Wyatt Sicks have carved a unique place for themselves on WWE Raw and won over the fans. Now, a recent report has provided insight into who their next opponents could be as 2025 approaches. The group headed by Uncle Howdy made an immediate impact upon their debut and even went on to win their first feud with American Made on the Red brand. However, the final testament didn't go down so easily as the faction defeated the Wyatt Sicks on this week's episode of WWE Raw. Whether this signals the end of their months-long feud or serves as just another chapter remains to be seen. Amid this, Viper Reports has shared backstage details of who could be the Wyatt Sicks' next rival once their story with Final Testament is over. As per rumors, the Stamford-based promotion is keen on pitting them against the Judgment Day. If this was indeed the direction WWE was considering heading in, fans can expect the feud between the two stables to carry well into WrestleMania 41. A few weeks back, on Sportskeeda's Legion of Raw, Vince Russo pointed out that despite the name Wyatt Sicks suggesting the stable has 6 performers, WWE has yet to introduce its final member. The former WCW champion didn't hold back before criticizing the company for not providing any clarity on the situation, even though the faction had been active on Monday nights for 6 months now. Chris, at what point do we see the Wyatt Sicks? Like, do we have to wait a year to see who the Wyatt Sicks is? Are they going to let us know that anytime soon? Well, thanks for telling me. Thank you very much. 5 months, wow. Thanks for explaining that because they haven't explained that, Vince Russo said. Several names have been speculated to be the 6th member of the group, most prominently Alexa Bliss, who's currently inactive for unexplained reasons. Gunther's WWE rise. WWE has had quite a year in terms of performances and storylines. However, one particular star has stood out according to Hall of Famer Teddy Long. The star being talked about is none other than Gunther, who has undoubtedly made himself known this year. His reign as the Intercontinental Champion gained the title as much prestige as himself. Furthermore, Gunther becoming the World Heavyweight Champion was the cherry on top for his run, cementing himself as one of the best names on the roster at the moment. Speaking on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine hosted by Mac Davis, Teddy Long heaped praise on Gunther and stated, "I think Gunther. He is. I have watched him, saw him when he first started. I watched him, as he kind of grew and kept moving along, and he has certainly done a great job. He is a great athlete in the ring, a great worker, and he has a great attitude, and he knows how to carry that title. You know what I mean? He knows he is a bad guy, and that's exactly how he comes across and portrays it." According to Bill Apter, the Ring General's achievements and performances have made him the top pick for the most impactful name in the company this year. Speaking on the same episode of Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine, the veteran journalist stated, "That's a hard thing to say the best. I think the person that made the biggest impression on WWE coming from somewhere where would have to be Gunther. I mean, who saw that coming, that he would become the World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, and he carries himself like a World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion." Fans will also have to stay tuned to see whether Gunther wins again at the upcoming WWE Saturday night's main event. Triple H makes insane claims about WrestleMania 41. WrestleMania 41 is set to electrify Las Vegas with a two-night extravaganza at Allegiant Stadium on April 20th and 21st. And as always, WWE is rolling out the red carpet for celebrity involvement. From hosting to wrestling, the biggest show of the year never fails to blend sports entertainment with Hollywood glam. WWE's Chief Content Officer Triple H recently revealed just how much star power is clamoring to be part of the action. "I have a celebrity list a mile long for people that want to do something for WrestleMania in Vegas. We just don't have the real estate to do it with them. So we'll pick the biggest ones and the ones that make sense storyline-wise, and we'll do it with them. It's incredible, the amount of people that want to be involved," he shared on the Roommates podcast. If WrestleMania 40 is any indication, fans can expect another wild celebrity roster. Last year's spectacle included Snoop Dogg on commentary, NFL stars Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson stepping into the action, a live performance by Motionless in White, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson headlining Night 1. The possibilities for this year's Vegas lineup are endless. With the glitz and glamour of WrestleMania 41 taking over Sin City, the combination of WWE's top talent and A-list celebrity guests is bound to create unforgettable moments. Who do you hope to see at WrestleMania 41? Roman Reigns is set to have a match on WWE Raw's Netflix debut. From the moment Roman Reigns debuted on WWE's main roster with The Shield, it was clear the company saw him as the next major superstar. It's safe to say Reigns has more than justified that trust. During a recent appearance on the Roommates Show podcast, Triple H shared his first impression of Reigns. He recalled that their first meeting lasted around 20 minutes. By the end of the conversation, Triple H went to Dusty Rhodes and confidently predicted that Reigns would be the biggest star in WWE within the next 10 years. The chief content officer noted that Reigns exuded an innate charisma that made him stand out immediately. "The first day I met him, Reigns, I sat down with him for like 20 minutes just to get to know him a little bit. I walked out of the interview, and at the time Dusty Rhodes was working in developmental with me. I walked up to Dusty and said, 'If that kid's not the biggest star we ever have in 10 years, I don't know what we're doing. Like, holy he's got everything.' When he walked in the room, you couldn't help but look at him and go, 'Who's that?' You know what I mean? Like, he had an innate X-Factor charisma," Triple H said. The first episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix will air on January 6th next month. It is being billed as one of the most anticipated episodes in WWE history. All the major names have been advertised for the show, including Roman Reigns. However, it could be more than just an appearance. According to Dr. Chris Featherstone of Sportskeeda Wrestling, plans are currently in place for Reigns to compete in a match on the show. It will be interesting to see who faces the OTC at this much-awaited show. Paul Heyman betrays Roman Reigns for The Rock. Paul Heyman has pledged his allegiance to Roman Reigns, but it looks like the fruitful partnership may come to an end soon. If a recent report is anything to go by, the Wiseman could be in cahoots with his potential new WWE client. The 59-year-old WWE Hall of Famer returned to SmackDown during the build-up to Survivor Series, War Games, and helped OG Bloodline find their fifth member in CM Punk. Heyman convinced Roman and Punk to put their differences aside and led them to victory against Solo Sikoa's Bloodline in a War Games match. Since then, the special counsel has remained absent from television. Many fans thought Paul Heyman would betray Roman Reigns and side with CM Punk since he owed the straight-edge superstar a favor for helping OG Bloodline. But that's a conversation for another day, as Punk has yet to disclose the terms of his favor and when he's going to call in. Interestingly, Zero News recently shared a cryptic photo of Paul Heyman with The Rock from WrestleMania 40, hinting at a potential alliance between the two veterans. As per the reports, the final boss will make his return on Monday Night Raw's Netflix debut to plant seeds for his WrestleMania 41 match with undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, Roman Reigns admitted that Paul Heyman has been acting shady lately since he hasn't returned his phone calls. Paul's been incredibly shady if you ask me. People ask, I've seen some of the speculation of, well, you didn't answer his phone calls and all this and that, but at the end of the day, when I take my leave, there's no question of what I'm doing. I'm recessing back to family, to change the hat, to put on that fatherhood hat, to refocus. That way I can come in and come back and dominate and run the show and represent my family at the highest capacity, at the highest standard possible. Roman Reigns is expected to make an appearance during Raw's premiere on Netflix. Rumor has it that he would wrestle on the show. This will mark his first match on WWE's flagship show in over 3 years.